Good morning and welcome to today's episode of More Than Just Task Management, your favorite daily podcast where we help you build a thriving business with me, Anna Angelova, a business coach and consultant, and with my fellow co-host, Jores Minusfan. Hey, Jores, good morning.
Hey Anna. Hi everyone. Good morning. Happy Friday, finally.
Oh, yeah, it's Friday. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
And if you are a regular listener to our podcast, we highly encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And also, if you get values from any of the episode, like, comment, this really helps other people see the podcast as well and spread the message to other business owners. And we are here on a mission to create a prosperous world for everyone. So if
Yeah.
you get any value, definitely encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss episodes personally. And then, as I said, like, comment. We really appreciate your participation and you being part of this growing community. We are in the beginning of our journey, and it's been awesome so far. And we really look forward to delivering even more value to you. So that
Yeah.
was my spiel in the beginning.
Uh, and today we're actually tackling a very interesting question where every business owner, small or large, should ponder, and that is, what are the some responsibilities or leadership roles that you play outside of the boardroom?
It is a very interesting question and something that actually, yeah, I know like we are here to help business owners, entrepreneurs, founders, right? This is actually a question that every single one of us should be asking. And the thing is that leadership doesn't end when we leave the business, right? It doesn't end when you shut your laptop or close the door of your shop or store. And some of the most important leadership roles we play, they actually happen at home. Like, some would argue that the most important leadership role every one of us plays is at home. And
Mhm.
then also in our communities, right? In our neighborhood and in the ways that we show up with our friends, socially and civically.
Yeah. Yeah, and that reflects on who you are, not what you do. And that comes that who you are also comes to work, and from work goes to your life and the way you treat and engage with local organizations, your neighborhood, and everything. So when you as a leader step into this leadership role, uh, it's in your family or a nonprofit board or a volunteer project. Even when you're mentoring young entrepreneurs or teaching, you're snapping. You're actually you're shaping your legacy, building the community trust. You're contributing uh, to your society. I think we talked about this before, where Leficomp helps companies thrive with impact, grow with impact, and this is the impact we're talking about. And impact is not just through your leadership at work; it's also at home with your neighbors, at the soccer field, when you're a leader, a volunteer.
And when you're saying this, Joris, actually, a very great points. Like a few, you put mentioned a few great points here. And one thing that came to my mind is like you're saying that leadership is all about who you are, not just what you do, but who you are and how you show up. And there is that idea that how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So the thing is that when you are an empowering leader at work, this actually transcends your work, right? You are that person also at home, with your friends, in your neighborhood, with in your network groups and things, and everywhere, right? And when you are, on the other hand, when you are uh, micromanaging, right? Like if you're the type who micromanages and wants everything under control, you don't do it just in your business. You do this everywhere, right? So when we talk about leadership, we really talk about your energy, your influence, and your intention in everything you do, and bringing alignment across all your life, right? Because business is just one part of life. And again, we play so many roles. Like, yes, we are business owners, and this is probably the biggest part of our life, right? Our businesses take so much time and effort and dedication from us. But then we also have our families, we have our friends, we have our neighbors, our community network, classmates, former classmates, former coworkers, right? Like, there's so many people out there that we engage with every single day. And I love what you say, how we show up outside of in our business, but also outside of our business, it's shaping our legacy, and it's building the trust, it's building the change we want to make in this world. And the thing is that it all starts with us. Like, it all starts with us. One key thing that, like, leadership is not about titles. Like, we are all leaders, and leadership is how we inspire ourselves first and then others into action, into purposeful action. And it all starts with self-leadership. This is, like, I truly believe, like, we truly believe that all starts with how we lead ourselves first. Like, do we snooze the alarm in the morning, or do we get up and start our day energized and excited for what's ahead? And you can't lead others effectively, and whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's in your local community, if you're running on empty, if you're not able to lead yourself, if you are reactive. So it really, really starts with you first, how you lead yourself first. So one of the biggest roles as a leader you play outside of the business is actually how you lead yourself. How do you take care of the MVP, right?
Mm. No, absolutely, absolutely, very well put. And that's a very interesting segue into our next um, topic, which we want to talk about, which is setting boundaries, right? As a leader and as a good leader, we want to lead our business, our team, our customers, but then we want to come home, take our children to soccer field, and where we volunteer. The word of caution: if you really overextend yourself, you're going to burn out. And this is a very common thing that happens everywhere, and that would affect your work, your family, your relationships, everything. So it's good we want to help everyone, we want to lead everywhere, but we need to be careful, right? We need to set boundaries. And so tell us a little bit more about boundaries, Anna.
Uh, Boundaries are really important, and actually it brings, like, it kind of connects with another key concept, is that one of the key features of leadership is leading by example. So, like, you might be thinking that, oh, for me to be a leader in my community, in let's say the local chamber of commerce, I need to be on the board, let's say. No, like, we actually lead with presence and by example. Like, this is one of the most powerful things, that people mimic others. Like, we mimic each other, and by you setting boundaries for yourself, where you say, yes, right now my choice, my focus is, I'm the leader of my business, right? I have my business, this is my focus. Plus, I have a family where, my kids are at an age where I want to be a present father or a present mother, and spend time with them. So these are my two main areas, right? Where I want to lead uh, with my business, and I want to lead at home. Yes, I'm part of community, I'm part of networking, I still meet with friends, but there you set boundaries, right? You set boundaries saying that, like you said, soccer time is more important than going for drinks with my friends today. And by you setting the boundary, by you being open and honest and saying, I'm not coming today, guys, or I'm not coming today, girls, whatever it is. Like, I'm not coming today. I'm going to the soccer game, and then I'll take the kids for pizza or something like this. You influence your friends. You influence them. You actually set an example that this is what's important for me, and it's not just I'm not just saying this. I'm actually putting the action. I'm showing it with my actions, and this way, again, as I said, you don't have to hold the positions. Like, leadership is not about the titles. We lead by example, and setting boundaries is one of the best things you can teach everyone around you without really teaching them, without preaching, right? Without preaching. You can teach people this by doing it, by showing them that how it's done, by showing that this is what I'm focusing on. These are my boundaries, sticking to them, and that's it. And then things change, right? So for a few years, this might be a couple of years, this might be your priority, this is what you're focusing on, then things will shift. And it's natural, but boundaries are really important every single stage, knowing like when to say yes, when to say no. And as I said, just by you being clear for this, you setting your own boundaries, even without being in an official leadership position, you already influence others. You're already leading your community, your friends, your family, even, right? Even for your kids, showing them that, their boundaries. I'm in my office, the door is closed. We'll have playtime after that, but for these 2 or 3 hours, it's work time, like so. Um, One day we'll probably have boundaries are so key that one day we'll probably have a full conversation about this. I don't want to spend too much time for today, but yeah, I think this is really what I wanted to share for boundaries. And yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it. And then something that you mentioned, I want to emphasize: we don't have to say yes to everything. But setting boundaries is not a selfish act. It allows you to lead sustainably. And where you focus to be a lead, where you focus to engage, you give 100%. Because if you stretch yourself too thin, then you're going to burn out. And that's not a good
Absolutely.
example to set.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Choose your battles. And again, there are seasons. So the fact that you say no to something right now doesn't mean that a couple of years down the road it will be the same thing. That things will change. So yeah, definitely. Which actually, because the topic today is like really about like some leadership roles outside of business, right? Outside the boardroom, and like we mentioned, right, at home, in our communities, in our networks, like this is like the main categories when you think about it. And at home, like we are always leaders at home, and especially when you have kids, like your leadership is even more important because kids really absorb so much by looking at you, watching you, and seeing what you do. Yesterday I was talking with one of my friends, and she was saying how she realized her kids are 12 and 15 now, but when they were younger, how the way they were playing, they were actually mimicking what their mom and dad were doing in a way, right? And this hit her really, like this realization. She was like, oh wow, they observe so much. So really at home, it's being present, and not just at home, everywhere, like being present, listening deeply, and modeling the character, modeling the values that you want your kids and your family to have. And this is so important, and appreciating, being grateful, like really stepping into those. I know at some point I talked about the energy levels, but really stepping into gratitude, into joy and love and all these things with your family. Being fully there. Like when you are at home, you're at home. When you're a dad, you're a dad. When you're a mom, you're a mom. When you are a wife or a husband, you are a wife or a husband, right? Like really be there. Turn off the laptop. Turn off the phone on all these kind of notifications and these things. Unless you're in some kind of a really like life or death kind of business, you don't need to be available 24/7. So this is one of the best things you can do when you lead at home, like really being present and don't think about the business and feeling, oh, I should be doing something while I'm with the kids. It's like, if you are doing this, you're not really present. You're not really there in the moment. Um, and then when you think about the community, right? Like in our communities, there's so many things we can do. And again, you don't have to, right now, this might not be important for you. You might be at a stage where this is not priority. That's okay. We are just talking about examples because some of you might be actually a place where you want to do this. You want to volunteer. You want to mentor. You want to offer your expertise to local, like the library, other organizations that you care about. Do some workshops, presentations, things like this, lunch and learn. Like you might want to do something like this. And there's so many opportunities. So many organizations are looking for speakers, for volunteers, for mentors. You just need to get out there and you'll find it. And then, of course, our networks, right? Our social networks. We already talked about this. And showing up again, just showing up and being present sometimes is more than enough for our friends, right? But then also the encouragement we share and helping each other, supporting each other, and all these kind of things. And again, you don't have to have specific role, like to have a title, right? To have a title for you to be a leader. Just by being present in all these different situations, just by showing up. And sometimes by showing up and saying, no, I'm not participating right now because this is what my focus is, this is my priority right now. You are setting an example, you're leading by example. So yeah, these are some of the things that were uh, on the top of my mind, and I'm wondering anything else, Joris, you'd like to add in terms of all these different leadership roles we play outside of work?
Yeah, one thing that needs more emphasis from my perspective is we need to remember that small actions count. We don't need to be lead a major foundation or lead beyond to be able to lead beyond our businesses, right? Sometimes small, quiet, consistent presence, like you said, just being there, it helps support our community and all the causes that you want to support.
And we
That
don't
doesn't have to be
realize it.
grandiose. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't realize it. Like we've both had this, right? Where people tell us down the road that how much we have inspired them with those small actions, right? Things that we don't even realize in the moment that people are actually being impacted. They're being influenced by us showing up authentically, right? Like this is one of the other things. As a leader, like you want to show up authentically. You want to show up as your real you. Don't try to fit into something or be someone you're not. When you show up authentically, like people notice these things and people get inspired by your confidence, by your calmness, by your presence. They get inspired. And it's interesting, like when you hear, and I know this is not exactly a leadership example, but I remember like the other day we were having, remember we were talking about having dinner, and we were talking about Easter and lamb, and how they got inspired to have lamb by the lamb you made one day, right? And without saying anything, like without telling people who have lamb or something like this, just in the natural way things went, the conversation and everything. And people get, again, people observe us even without us realizing this. And whether we lead them or whether we are at the same level, co-workers, friends, right? Like they observe us, and small steps, yeah, definitely small steps. And I would actually highly encourage you to reflect. Like the weekend is coming as well, so reflect on a role outside of work, one your role that you have, leadership role outside of your business, and choose a small action this week, this weekend, that you can use to strengthen your presence, to improve your influence there, like whether it's at home, whether it's in your community or in your network. Choose one and move forward from there. Or it might be something related to you filling your own cup. filling your own cup and how you lead yourself.
Very well put, Anna. I love the session. Very beautiful session. And this time we almost made it on time. We didn't go off on too much of a tangent.
Yeah, that's true.
We're getting
That's
better
true.
and better. We're becoming more efficient.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jores.
so much,
Thanks.
Anna. Yeah.
Thanks. Wonderful conversation. And we'll be back tomorrow to summarize the week. So remember to catch us Saturday live on our Planter channel on YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces. Especially on a Saturday morning, sorry, I'm already, or otherwise on any of the podcast platforms where you can find our podcast. And as I mentioned, subscribe, like, comment. Any kind of engagement really helps spread the message out there. So if this is something that you want to share with others, go ahead. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful Friday.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your Friday. Bye-bye.